What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic little Saturday, a little after 4:30 here, and, we're going to talk some birds. Now, here for the post-game show, it's a preseason game, so I know the media, everybody else is going to lose their minds. We lost to the Browns. Season's over. I get it. Trust me, I know how this goes, but I'm here to talk about what actually happened and what this means for the season. So, talked about going into this game. Expect a lot of backups. Expect a lot of sloppiness. And if we lose this game, please don't come in here whining. So it all happened, and we talked about that. Look, this was a game where we needed to have some questions answered. This was not really about winning at all, ever. And I just need you to understand it never is in the preseason. It's just a way to find out what you've got going on. We've got a lot of battles on offense, defense, special teams, and we're going through them. And we're going to talk about what we got answered today. So we're going to go through each of these positions again, the ones we looked at before the game, the ones we've been talking about, and we're going to talk about what we saw today, and maybe we got some clearer, answers here. And I did. So we're going to talk about that. You guys can let me know how you feel about this game. Let me know whatever is on your mind. You with the media, season's over. Everybody is the worst. I get it. Trade everyone. Yes. First comment, DTR sucks. Yeah, definitely a tough game for him. A lot of people are going to jump on this, and I get it. Totally get it. But if you're still with me, let's get a little Go Birds going because I'm still feeling it, man. One thing, I want to bring the positivity. And one thing I'm positive is that the Eagles are the best team in the NFL. And you got to find out who your depth pieces are because things happen here in the NFL. And, you saw the depth today. You saw a lot of things where you tried a lot of different things out. You saw the quarterbacks coming in and out. You saw cornerbacks also being switched in and out. So we're trying to get some answers here, and the Eagles were doing that today. So don't look at the game so much as you're looking at individual performances. So we're going to look at those, and we're going to talk about them here tonight. So let's effing go. Appreciate you, David. All of you hitting that like button, subscribing, sharing this stuff. It means the world. So thank you. And one thing I talked about with my pop at the end of this game was, that's what these games are for. You're going to use this as a learning experience. So the great thing is this loss means absolutely nothing. But what it can mean is a great learning experience for a lot of these young guys. So, yeah, man, I'm with you 100%. And I think there's a lot to be learned from this game. So, and we'll talk about all these things here in a second. So let me jump over to all of these matchups that we talked about. And, I think people are starting to see why I like Munden so much. He's definitely a stud for the special teams here. But let's jump into it. Let's talk about them. And we're going to start it off just like we did before the game here. We're going to look at the offense, and then we'll go into the defense. But at quarterback, Kyle McCord was ass. Dorian Thompson-Robinson was ass, even more so ass. So not great. Now, the offensive line, I can't say was the greatest either, but definitely some poor decision-making was had in this game and not really any kind of clear-cut winner for the QB3 job. What I do think is more so Kyle McCord winning this job because he was drafted. If DTR can't show anything, he's a practice squad hopeful. They might both be practice squad hopefuls if nobody's good enough. Maybe you're looking at someone on another team, someone gets, cut. You add someone, a random dude no one's thinking of. Maybe that's their goal for QB3. If one of these guys does not figure something out here, I like both of them. We've talked about this. It's QB3, right? So you want to say who cares? It is important for practice, all these things, but it's, it's at a point where I've seen people losing their minds about this. Look, man, it's for the third job, and you're talking about playing with backup linemen, backup receivers, backup running backs. Everybody is new to this damn team. All that stuff going on to it. I try to, give the context because I don't want to bury these kids, but not a great game. Not a great game from either of them, so they really didn't do anything to help themselves. So we shall see. Now, you've heard me all offseason talk about Will Shipley as running back 2. Today, that was solidified. He did not play. You saw A.J. Dillon out there competing with Robinson, Powell, and Johnson. So as I've said all offseason, I think it's Dillon competing with those other guys for RB3 more so than it is Shipley and Dillon for 2. So that got answered today. Will Shipley is running back 2. We'll see if Dillon has that 3 can stick there, and maybe one of these other guys pushes their way as a 4, a 4th running back. I doubt, but hey, we'll see how they do. I like Montreal Johnson's game. Powell's fun to watch, little guy out there. Keelan Robinson has flashes, but I don't think these guys make the team. They are practice squad hopefuls. Now, wide receiver, Johnny Wilson. We talked about this, since last year. This dude, it would be perfect. If he's the number 4, if Anaya Smith's the number 5, I am very comfortable if they can develop those skill sets they have. So 2 completely different guys that add what we need to this offense. I love it. Anaya Smith showed again today that he should be that 5th guy. Johnny Wilson, I think, already is because he did not play at all. Cooks is banged up. Marshall was out there. Darius Cooper brought a lot of media and fans back to reality. As I said before the game, look, I get it. He had a good preseason game, but let's not do this every year. The guy is not a Hall of Famer yet. He's got to do more against, actual competition. Didn't see anything from him today. But again, hopeful that this kid can wind up on the practice squad for the Eagles. Don't know that he pushes them to keep 6, but hey, we shall see. Now at tight end, look like, Calcaterra has that 2 wrapped up. Maybe Bryant with the 3, Jenkins and Granson. Jenkins got banged up in this game. The 2 missed a ball that, a little hard to catch, but it was there. Muse in there. So you got competition, but I'm still big question mark over here for the tight end position. I really, will hope that Calcaterra continues to develop. I do like him. I would like to see Bryant doing some things. I saw Granson got banged up at one point. So still some question marks at the tight end position for me. Then on the offensive line, at tackle, Hinton and Williams not doing great. Pryor has had his issues. That sucks. But Kendall Lamb, I think, is one of those guys that, should be your swing tackle. But, Kennard has been playing a lot. They're trying to see what he's got. Pryor better show something. And, when you're looking at the guard position, when you talk about Brett Toth being thrown in there, and then you've got, Pryor, again, with the struggles. Green, we'll see. Keegan, who played a little center as well. Kennard in there. Drew Kendall, who plays center as well. You saw him playing some guard today. Paul Pierce is there. Vaca Holly, but haven't seen much of them. Maybe these are the practice squad hopefuls. But looking at Landon Dickerson, if he's not ready for week 1, is it really going to be Toth there? Is Pryor going to clean his act up? Big question mark there. Tyler Steen, as I told you, I took him off this list. There's no competition. He is the right guard, and they solidified that for us here today. So we know right guard is set. Now at center, with Toth, his versatility, he can help you all over. So him and Kendall were flip-flopping at guard and center, trying to prove their worth to this team. So this offense, I think Drew Kendall is proving, obviously he's going to be here. He can not only be that backup center, but also a guard. And same goes for Toth, showing his versatility. Having him step in as the starter for now, that's big for him. So he's been around the way. We know that. And best of luck to him. But that's what's going on with the offense. And I think, again, with all the starters, I feel pretty confident. We know who our right guard is. We're hopeful Landon Dickerson gets healthy here. If he's not ready for week 1, then week 2, whatever it is, let's just have him for the whole season. And, maybe the backup tight ends, the receivers and things we're questioning. But for the most part, we're still going to be the best offense. That's my opinion. Now, the defense is where we've got some real question marks, and we're going to talk about that here. But I will try to come over here real quick and get back over these comments. Anything you got on the offense? And, yeah, man, it was just ass on ass on ass on ass. That's what we saw. This offense was pure ass today, but that's what we expected, right? So it is what it is. Michael, my man, appreciate you tuning in, dude. Hope you are well. And, I hope he makes the practice squad. I can see somebody taking him, but we'll see how it goes for him. Browns to be in the Super Bowl. Well, this is their Super Bowl. You have to understand, they that's a big win for them, so let them have it. And, yeah, you guys know how I feel about Makuba. People got to see that here today. So I was excited about that, But let's talk about the defense, and we're going to start it off with the line here. My guy, the Vanilla Gorilla, showing why he is going to be DT4. Gabe Hall was a little banged up there at the end, but I think he is DT5, although Byron Young had a nice little play there at the end of the game. So pushing for a job, I think it was Sykes who had a sack at one point, Evans and Rogers there. So you've got competition, but I think Robinson Hall solidifying there are the 4 and 5. Can Young push to be a 6th possibly? Now, on the edge, talked about it, I think that Jalix Hunt is that starter next to Smith. That was proven today because Uche and Ojulari were starting. They are trying to find their places. Who is 3, who is 4, but they're both going to be part of this rotation. Ojulari had a good day today. Didn't see much out of Uche, but I think once these guys get acclimated to this defense, I think it's going to be good things. Smith and Hunt, man, great starting rotation, and having Uche and Ojulari, it's awesome. Patrick Johnson had a good play. Mathis, Okoronkwo, Power Island. We'll see if anybody wants to step up and try to be a fifth, sixth guy in this edge rotation, help on special teams, whatever. We shall see. But still a question mark there for me. But I think Hunt solidified he is that starter next to Nolan Smith for me today by not playing. Now, linebacker, clearly Nakobe Dean, he can come off that PUP list at any time, but he's banged up right now. So Trotter and Campbell started this game. Last game, you remember it was Trotter and Munden. But, Zach Bond is the starter. You have, one more place there. So Trotter or Campbell starting this season, I think, Campbell at one point is going to be that starter. His future is very bright. Saw that sack he had started the game. Had like 4 tackles in this one. He is showing why he's going to be such a force. He was lining up on the edge. We talk about his versatility and how much I love it. And Munden, another good game. And I'm just excited about. He's just a football player, man. That reminds you old school. He's got that neck roll, but we talked about him when we drafted him. Going to be a great depth piece to have here. Special teamer. Very excited for him. But we'll see. I think sooner rather than later. But Trotter's been showing some good things. Also, he's had his issues. So who's going to be that other starter next to Bond? Well, it's still to be seen. But I think Campbell will be that guy here. Now, at corner, this is our biggest question mark. And you heard me before the game. This is where I need to see Ja'Cory Bennett come in here and show why he could be the starter, but don't sleep on Mac McWilliams if he can do the same. Now, I think both of them had pretty good games here. Now, Bennett got banged up at one point, scared the shit out of me because, of course, he was doing well, had the pass break up there. But I still think he is definitely in that running for QB2. I do not think, or CB2, she's Kaylee Ringo, Adore Jackson. I told you, they're just not doing it for me. But I think Bennett and McWilliams could be that answer. Or maybe you move Cooper DeJean outside. You have Makuba in at nickel. We've talked about the versatility of these defensive backs and what that could do. But if you got a guy like Bennett up to date on the system, remember, he's only been here for a little over a week here. Let him learn the system. We'll see what he can do. But Mac McWilliams, do not sleep on him. Now, guys like Ricks, Woods, Nickerson, Castrofield, Johnson, don't think they're making this team. But having those two we already have, Coop and Q Mitch, obviously you're probably only keeping 3 or 4. So probably Bennett, maybe Ringo. But Mac McWilliams is definitely making this squad. I don't know that Adore even makes it if he's not the starter or can't prove it. We'll see what happens, but there is still a large question mark there. And as I've said, I'd rather bring in someone like a Stephon Gilmore now, let him learn the system, see if he can win out that job, maybe push these young guys, but they haven't done that yet. They traded for Bennett instead. And you remember, I liked Bennett in the draft a couple years ago, so I am a fan. But it's a big question mark, especially with that shoulder injury. So we're going to see. Maybe he can prove and stay healthy that he is that cornerback too, or maybe Ringo, Jackson. Somebody wants to step it up. McWilliams would love that too. Going to be exciting to see what happens here. We've got 19 days until the game. And the 26th are cut downs. So time's a ticking here, folks. You got 10 days until the cut down. So that's it's going to be intriguing. Now, at safety, as I mentioned, Drew Makuba. Think kid's going to be a stud. Very bright future here for us. Him and Brown with Blankenship. But Makuba is so good. I've mentioned you can use him as a nickel corner. We talked about when we drafted him, this dude is a ball hawk. This is the kind of guy that fits Vic Fangio's defense, just like we talked about with, guys like Sidney Brown, Cooper DeJean that are versatile pieces. And, Andre Sam and Tristan McCollum and all these guys that can do all this stuff. And all the corners we just talked about that can do that. So maybe you have packages where Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean are the safeties and Drew Makuba's in there as the big nickel, or Sidney Brown is, or, there's just so many things you can do. And, whoever wants to be that starter next to Reed Blankenship, at least you've got depth. You've got guys like Scene and Sam want to step up. McCollum was looking good today. He did have some whiffs, but overall, I think that I'm feeling pretty good about the safety position still. I know a lot of people are very scared about it, and I get it. There's definitely some question marks as to how these guys have developed, like Brown. Makuba's still a rookie, so we'll see. We'll stay patient. But clearly the corner is where we all are wondering what is going to go down. And then the return specialist, I think if a guy like Anaya Smith proves he's on this team, then he should be that return man on offense, defense. Maybe they still use Shipley. I do not want to see Cooper DeJean out there. But you've got so many options here. And you've seen some of them in the offseason here. You've seen some of them at training camp and joint practices. But maybe these guys, given the opportunity, can show having that versatility to also return the ball. Maybe that can take them somewhere. So that's what went down in this game, how I feel about it. I'll bring you an updated depth chart tomorrow. We'll talk about this game. We'll talk about how I feel heading into this final preseason game against the Jets on Friday. And we've got training camp practice coming back on Monday. So they have the day off tomorrow. They'll practice on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then they'll have a walkthrough on Thursday. That Wednesday practice is the last practice because then you've got the game Friday, and then they're going to be working on cut downs. You'll have those cut downs on that Tuesday. And then it's getting ready for the Cowboys. And I'll be putting out the best matchup, the top matchup show. I'll be talking, I can't believe it, dude. Like, we're going to be talking about a game. We're going to be breaking down the game, the injury reports, everything you need to know to get you ready for that Eagles-Cowboys Week 1 matchup. So it's all coming very fast. We're 19 effing days away. Holy hell, the countdown just flew right by, man. I hope you're as excited as I am for this team. Don't let the negativity of people that live and dwell in negativity use the preseason as a reason to be upset. Those people do not deserve your energy or time, I promise you. But get excited, stay excited, because we're just figuring out the depth. We already know our starters for the most part. So cornerback's the one question we're really looking for. Some other things that I mentioned there, they'll get ironed out, I promise you. But get excited, man. The season's coming, and it's time to dominate the NFL. But if you guys have anything else you want to add, you're watching this later, you are watching now and you think of something later, I'd love to hear from you. Always down to talk some birds, but got some things to do. Got a really busy weekend. So, oh, Lord. But I hope you guys all had a great week. Hope you're ready for an enjoyable weekend. Hopefully, you're not letting the preseason game get you down. Get up for the reason that the Eagles are back in 19 effing days. Going to win that back-to-back and build this dynasty. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you all taking the time. If you got anything from this, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Share this bad boy. Subscribe down below. Cannot thank you enough for all of the support. But we'll be back tomorrow to break this game down a little further, talk about some of these battles, the depth chart, how I see some of these things playing out. Maybe, talk about some things we could do in the transaction department. And I know a lot of you guys have a lot of questions there. So we'll talk about all of that. But I hope you all have yourselves a fantastic weekend and stay safe out there. But if you need anything, you could always reach out. Always here for you sickos as you are for me. It doesn't have to be about the birds. And look, I love you guys. I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry I've been so damn busy, but I told them, look, I got to get a lot of things done and get ready for this season because we're about to lock in. I can't believe it's almost back. Holy hell, I'm losing my mind just thinking about it. I got to get some graphics ready because when that time comes, oh, baby, we're getting ready to run through some walls. So until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, say it with me, sickos. Go Birds!